Um, this is an example of what's called a timing factor, as it specifically relates to the negative 13 spin as an RH factor, which is a timing factor, which is a timing response in the circulation and flow of spirals. Here's a perfect example. There is a young man who was hooked up with the KDS, the Voyager materials, when that came out. And so he is sharing on his channel some of the things that came out through the MCEO Be a Free Spirit. I don't use the word Dom, even though it says MCEO Freedom Teachings. Free Dom is counterintuitive. You can't be free and dominant at the same time, can you? At the completion of a circuit. So I don't use the word freedom. I'm a free spirit. I know what it's like to be free because love is what frees us all, which is healing us all from the inside out. The inner us, the inner circle, the first circle of fire, the silver and gold mated one that heals us all, equally distributed. The four-way crystal cathedral, Sophia. Okay? So he just put up there about magnetic tails that was being echoed by Ashiana. Okay? And she was talking about, she used the word systems and what we call hydraulic systems design, diagrams, flow diagrams, right? Hydraulics, hydrologic. And so I was going to make a comment. And this black mirror, see what it does? How much time did I lose right there? That cleared my lungs. That's a miasma. It's a miasma machine. The Wayback Machine that Sarah Adams was referring to with Max Spears on the Basis Project video that they did is called the miasma machine, which is machine code, which is why they call in the Secretary of State Department, the military department, the foreign services. Remember, back in the day in the 1930s when Hitler came to power and all that? Hey, I'm going to work for the foreign services. What does it mean by foreign? Remember what happens if you go to work for the federal government, right? And you're a foreign actor, like an actor on a stage, and they call that foreign intelligence services. Oh, your intelligence is foreign. You mean it's alien? Well, who is it alien to? The first field. The first field of CQ, creative. The creative expression. The first creative expression of what was expressed, which is the intention, which is what love is. So alien intelligence is foreign to the first form and flow of first creation, which is the first spiral, which is the first spin of purity, which is pure. The purity of our mind, of our mind's creative expression. Now you're in a dark flower grid, dark mother creations, which are spiritual torture creations. Because we experience those creations like whack-a-mole. One sentient life form consuming the energy of another sentient life form. So when I was a child, remember how I described what it was like to experience that? Now I have to heal one and the other. Now I got to heal both of them so that I'm experiencing what love is before it happened, because there is no time. There's only what love is, because that's what real is. That's what it means to be real, which is real love, which is true love, which is a true vacuum. So that's what it did. It refused. It would not let me use the little keypad to write anything into that window in his channel to share it becomes aware of what I was going to share and does not want me to share that. Because if it realizes that as the way that the circuits flow, the speed at which things happen, what I become aware of, I'm not going to put the same sequence in there as I would have at the moment in which I could have, because it was preventing me from doing that as that relates to circulation speed. Now, Christopher Comstock is not going to experience what I was once going to put in there because now the speed at which things are happening is going to be different from the last. So it's not going to be the same as what I once put in there. Right? So it cuts. It cuts off the flow of real energy, which is real love. What love experiences, the speed at which we become aware of what we're aware of, which is immunity function, which is a firewall function, which is a shield function, which is a mathematical function, which is a flow function of energy, consciousness energy. The mirror, the magnetic recorder. See, so it doesn't want to record at that speed. Curving space, curving vectors, right? Multiple vectors, right? Multidimensional vectors, multidimensional consciousness, ceiling breaches, right? The universal shield. How about a cosmic shield? The shield of one. The first shield. And so this is what I do is I use examples. See, once it becomes aware, that's why security was so tight. Once it becomes aware of what you become aware of, it's got to make a counter space move. So you know what a counter space move is, right? What a transformer is? The difference between an inverter and an accelerator? What happens if the inverters reproduce themselves as a metatronic seed being transferred into another unit? Another unicycle. That unicycle collapses. Right? So how many galaxies can they suck down that hole? Right? Now you're into the accretion levels. Now you're into the acceleration levels to maintain the speed, which is the form and the flow of the first spiral. Remember that game, tag? You can't catch me, na 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 na. Superluminal speeds, the speed at which it takes to correct, fix the codes, fix the circuits, repair the grid. Experiencing the first grid network, the first triangle, the golden fleece, the silver gold-mated one, the first spin, the first spiral, the first flow. So we're experiencing the form and flow of the first celestial creation mechanics because we're always on fire to play musical spheres. The spirit in the sphere. So the two hemispheres and the four quads are in perfect balance because we're spinning circles of light, which are fire letters, in perfect balance, which means they're equal unto all the other waves to experience zero mass. Because we do not hold on to one electron. We do not hold on to one unit of consciousness in order to feed on it. So now we're into detection levels, which are sensory levels, to experience anything that is feeding on us, or a loss of one electron. Because we're gifters. We are eternal gifters of electrons to build capacitors on planetary motherboards to increase the speed of the right spiral, to maintain the shield. Yeah. So that's real light. That's natural light, which is the natural spin, which is pure, which is the purity of the heart, which is the home of the human heart, the heart and soul of Sophia. A mother God, joined as one. The father and mother joined as one to experience being one. Kicking sparks out, lighting fires. That fire is always on. The still point of the eternal flame is the innocence of awareness, which is called cleaning ourselves up to experience being pure, to experience being pure, eternal, absolute love that's on fire to create. And that is a natural shield, which is a natural spiritual immunity function, which is a mathematical function of a mathematical programmer. Have a beautiful day.